In the twilight of the ancient world, where the divine and the mortal shared the very air they breathed, the stage was set for one of the most legendary conflicts in human history. This is the story of the Trojan War, a tale of love, betrayal, divine intervention, and the insatiable thirst for glory. But how did this monumental war begin? To understand, we must journey back to a fateful event where the seeds of strife were sown, not among mortals, but within the heavenly realm itself. It all began at a wedding feast, but not just any wedding. This was the grand celebration of the union between Peleus, a mortal hero of great renown, and Thetis, a beautiful sea goddess destined to give birth to a child mightier than his father. On this auspicious day, Olympus glittered with splendor. The gods and goddesses, resplendent in their divine forms, gathered to revel in the joy of the occasion. All seemed perfect, yet among them lurked a shadow of discord. One goddess had not been invited, Eris, the goddess of discord and strife. Her exclusion was not accidental. The Olympians knew all too well her fondness for sowing chaos. But Eris would not be so easily ignored. Seething with bitterness, she arrived uninvited, and with a single act, she changed the course of history forever. Eris stepped into the hall, her dark eyes gleaming with malevolence. In her hand, she held a golden apple, polished to an ethereal shine, inscribed with the words, "To the fairest." With a mischievous smile, she rolled the apple across the table, and as it settled, the air grew thick with anticipation. Hera, the queen of the gods, Athena, the goddess of wisdom and war, and Aphrodite, the goddess of love and beauty, each claimed the apple as rightfully theirs. The feast of joy turned into a dispute of vanity. The argument grew so fierce that Zeus, king of the gods, was forced to intervene. But even the mighty Zeus knew that choosing between these three powerful goddesses could ignite further conflict. In a moment of divine diplomacy, he declared that only a mortal could make such a decision. And so, the responsibility fell upon a young prince far from Olympus, tending sheep in the rolling hills of Troy. This mortal was Paris, son of King Priam and Queen Hecuba of Troy. But his destiny was shrouded in darkness. Before he was born, a prophecy warned that Paris would bring ruin to Troy. In fear, his parents abandoned him on a mountainside, but fate had other plans. The gods ensured his survival, and he grew up with the innocence of a shepherd, blissfully unaware of the role he would play in the downfall of his great city. Paris's life of simple pleasures came to an abrupt halt when Hermes, the swift messenger of the gods, descended from the sky with an impossible request. He was to judge who among the three goddesses was the fairest. Trembling, Paris found himself before the towering forms of Hera, Athena, and Aphrodite. Each goddess, radiant and formidable, offered him a bribe, hoping to sway his judgment. First came Hera, queen of Olympus, her voice commanding yet smooth as honey. Paris's heart raced. Next, Athena, the fierce and wise goddess of war and strategy, stepped forward. Her eyes glinted with the promise of triumph. Paris hesitated, overwhelmed by the magnitude of these offers. Finally, Aphrodite, the goddess of love, approached. Her beauty shimmered like 1,000 dawns, and her voice was soft and alluring. And so, Paris made his choice. Blinded by desire, he awarded the golden apple to Aphrodite. The consequences of this decision would soon ripple through the lives of gods and mortals alike. True to her word, Aphrodite led Paris to Sparta, where Helen, wife of King Menelaus, resided. Helen's beauty was renowned across the world, and indeed, It was said that she was the most beautiful woman of her age. Some claim that Helen fell in love with Paris under Aphrodite's enchantment, while others argue she left willingly, driven by a desire for adventure. Regardless, her departure with Paris marked a point of no return. When Menelaus discovered his wife had been taken, his grief and rage knew no bounds. He called upon his brother, Agamemnon, the powerful king of Mycenae, to help him reclaim his honor and his queen. And thus, the call for war echoed across the kingdoms of Greece, summoning heroes and kings to sail for the shores of Troy.